Hi, welcome to another video. And in this video, we'll be looking at some solution to Lab 5 and Lab 6. All right, in Lab 5, we have been asked to guess a number. And the scenario is that we are to complete the code so that we ask the user to enter an integer number, and we'll use a while loop to uh, do our iterations until the user guess the correct number that has been inputted by the magician. All right, so what we are simply doing is we are checking if the guessed number that we'll be collecting from the user is exactly the same as the secret number. Otherwise, we should continue to be in the while loop. I think this is pretty much easy to get. All right, without wasting much of our time, let us get right into it. Let me clear this. Okay. All right. So from our question, we've been asked to guess a number, and we've been given a skeleton code, which we would quickly type out now. We have secrets. And we have to print this. Oh, sorry, that should be just right. So you can use 1, 2, 3 like this. It is allowed in Python, and this would also help us to do multiple line comments. Okay. Enter an integer number, and we have and guess what number. Have picked for you. So what is the secret number? Okay. I think that is okay. We have to close our bracket. Then, all right, code here. All right. So as we can see already, we've been given a variable called secret number, and it is equal to 777. So in other words, that is the number we're trying to guess, and we are to collect an integer value from the user. So that means we should have, let's say, the variable name should be our guess number, like this, and it says that we should collect an integer. So meaning that it will be integer, then we are imputing. So we impute, open another bracket, then let's say enter your guess here. Okay. So I think now it's a good time to enter our while loop. So now we are checking if the guess number is not, if the guess number, the number we are guessing, if it is not equal to the secret number, then we should remain in the loop. That is, if the number we have imputed as our guess number is not 777 that we have provided, then the loop should continue. Otherwise, end the loop. So now we want to print what they've asked us to print. They said we should, yeah, we should print you are stuck in my loop and be prompted to enter. We are prompted to enter another number again. Okay. So this time we are going to print aha your, so this because we need this apostrophe. uh okay, yeah, we'll just have to, yeah, this should work. Oh, okay, sorry, in this from the question, this quote, this quote should be there, this code should be there. So we might have to use from our code, we might have to modify this our opening string to be a single quote so that we can use a double quote, because we want to print out that double quote. So because we are starting with a single quote, any single quote inside, we would have to escape it by using the escape character like that. Then let me close here so that it doesn't show us that error. Okay, you are stuck in my loop. Okay. Um, then we are asked to prompt to be prompt. Okay, prompt to enter a number again. So this time we are to collect the number, the guess number again. So there are two ways we can either do just the same thing here, or just to show that this is another one. We could just say, please enter, let's say, another number, or let's say another guess. Yep. Please enter another guess, and yeah, we should be good. I don't know why we have two brackets in there. There should be just one, which is fine. Okay. Then we've been asked that if uh the number we've entered, if it matches the secret number picked, then the number should print to the screen. Well done, you are free now. So let us print that. So once we are fine and we're outside of the loop, then you can then print well done. So that means this should be outside the loop, and we'll be having our print function that will be printing, well done. Mughal? Oh, well done, you are free now. Oh, just well done. Okay, well done, you are free now. All right, I think we just need to close our double quotes, and that should be all. So if we should run our code now, let us run our code here. Let me change my directory. Okay, so enter our guess. Let's say our guess is 100. You see how you are in my loop. Okay, let us try. There are no test data. Okay, so let us try something else. 450. Still inside loop. Then let's try the second number itself. 777. Then it says, "Well done, you are free now." Okay, so that solves the very first one. So let us look at the other example, the other lab that we have there, which is lab 6. Okay, we are to build the pyramid, and our task is to write a program which reads the number of blocks the builder have, and we are to output the height of the pyramid that can be built using this number of blocks. Okay, okay. So if the builder does not have a sufficient block, then the bad person cannot complete the next layer. Then they finish their work immediately. All right, so we've been given a skeletal code, then we should use this as our test data. So this is how the pyramid builds. Okay, so the idea of building a pyramid is simple. You know, uh, pyramids are usually like this, like that, just like what we have here, just like that. And it means that we'll start from the top, then the next number or the next guy below would just be increased by one. So that means if one is the topmost here, then the next number here will be two. Then the next number here will be three, four, like that, five and six, seven, like that. So that means if there is one block on top, then the next block, number of blocks that will be below to build the pyramid will be two. Then another next block of numbers that will be under here to complete this next pyramid will be three. Just like we have here, we have one, we have two, we have three, we have four, five, six. These are numbers of blocks that we've been given, anyways. But then, because we want to complete the because we have six blocks that have been provided. So we do it like this. Start with the very first one. Then the next one will be plus one of this. The numbers of blocks that have been under here will be plus one of what we have up here, which will be one, two. We have one block here. The next block will be two. The next block will be three, four, like that. So here we've had one, which is correct. Now we have two here, complete. We have one, two, three, which is also complete. So to calculate the number of heights is just this is height one, height two, and height three. All right. So let us write our code. Let's see how to go about that. Okay. Let's start with our skeletal code. You enter a number of blocks and let's write the code here. What is that? Okay, we have to write our code here. Then very simple. Sorry, I'm not doing more comments. Okay, we have one more line. We say print. What are we printing? The height of the pyramid. Okay. Height. Okay. All right. So what this means is that block is not blocks. Okay. And our print is supposed to be print. Then height is height. Okay. All right. So what this means, if you see this height is it's highlighted, meaning that we need to collect a variable named height. So definitely, I don't know, maybe we'll be imputing that or not. We don't know for now. but definitely we need a variable called height before we can print out height. All right, so I think what we should do, the very first thing, based on our because of our question, is that our height is going to be recorded in numbers. So so we can declare that our initial height is zero because we've not started building anything. So our initial height can be zero. So we can start off by saying under our write our code here. So let us initialize our height and say height is equal to zero. Yeah, so that's our very first thing. And because our next layer, what we want to check for is we want to keep building layers, right? And our initial layer now is also zero because if this is the first layer, if this is the first layer, sorry, all right. So if this is the first layer, this is the second layer, and this is the third layer. The very initial layer here is zero because we've not started building anything at all. So it is until when we build this first layer, then we will know that our next layer is 2. That means we'll just be doing plus 1. Also, as the height, the first height is 1, the second height is 2, the third height is 3. So we can also initiate something called next layer. And the reason why we need this is also to be able to track our numbers of layers that we've built so far, because we need it to count the height and also to check for completeness. All right, so we'll be creating a new variable called next layer, and it would also be initializing it to be zero. So we can now start our while loop. This looks more like a while loop because obviously it's also given under the while, and I don't think if there should be any if. Yeah, not really. The condition will be done here. Okay, so now we want to check, the condition we want to check for this while is if the numbers of block that we have, for instance, this is 6. If the numbers of block that we have, in the question they say that if our if if the builder does not have a sufficient number of blocks, then it cannot complete the next layer. So they finish their work immediately. So we need to keep checking that the number of block is is greater than next layer. You see, if the number of blocks is not sufficient to complete the next layer. So what this means is, if for instance we have 4, if our number of blocks is four. So what this means is that four blocks will only build 1. It will build 2. Under here must be 2. Then the next one should be 3, meaning. But now once we've built. Okay, let's start checking one by one. So now we have blocks and layers. So we have 4 blocks, right? And once we build the first layer here, we have layer 1. Now, sorry, we have 4 blocks, but we've not built any layers yet. Now, once we build this first layer, we have 3 blocks left. Then we've built 1 layer. Now, let us build the second layer, which is going to be 2, which is plus 1 of 2. So we've built the second layer. We use 2 blocks here. So we'll remove 2 blocks from this. That remains 1 layer. The first block we use 1. So the next block we use 2. We remove 2 blocks. So it remains 1 layer. It remains 1 block. So this means we've built 1 layer. Now, uh, okay, yeah, sorry. After we remove 1, we built this one is plus 1 now. And we have 1 here, so this one is also plus 1. That means we've built 2 layers, as you can see here. Then we have 1 block left. So once you build this 1 block, it's not completing. We're expected to have 3 blocks under here to complete a layer, to complete the pyramid. But because we have just 1 block left and we've built the 1 block, so it's not enough to complete a layer. So we scrap this out and we can only say that 4 blocks can build just 2 layers. Just 2 layer, layer 1, layer 2. All right, so let's take that again so that we are not confused. Now this time let us use 5. So we have 5 blocks. Let's say we have 5 blocks, and now we've not built any layer. So let us pick 1 block. We subtract 1. We add that 1 here. So this is how it is. we've built one block. Now we are building the next layer. We need two blocks to build the next layer. So we need one, we need two. So we remove that two from here. After building this one, we have four left now. Now we are building this and we are removing two. That is minus two. Okay. All right, that's minus two, and the next guy is going to be. So we've built one more. So now we have two layers. Okay, now we have two layers. Now we are left with two blocks. Now let's build the next two block. One, two. There is one more block that is not satisfied, so we can't continue this next time. So we could only build two layers. All right. So let's go to our code. Where is this? Okay. All right. So we are checking that the number of blocks is greater than the next layer. Because if it is not greater than next layer, then don't build anything. Just know that immediately we are done with that block that we are building. We are not to perform any further action. All right. So I think after that, now that we've done that, remember we are going to increase our no, the number of we are increasing the number of layers while we are reducing this. So let us add number of next layer there. So our next layer will be plus one, and our blocks will be minus one. So now, what we should have said block is minus one, but then so instead of saying blocks is minus one, because we know that if the numbers of block left is not sufficient to complete the next layer, so we are not going to bother ourselves building this next layer. So that's why we just say number of instead of saying minus one, we can say next block minus next layer like this. Then we would increase the number of heights because that's what we are trying to build. This is height one, height two. The number of heights is two here, so we want to keep increasing the number of heights that we've created. Height. So we can just add one to that, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, just to be sure. Okay, yeah. So we are just going to end the code immediately there. All right. So let's be sure. Let's run the code. We have 620 1002. 620 1002. Let us try those with our code. Let's see if it runs. And yeah. Okay, we have six. So if it's six, our pyramid should be three, which is correct. And if it is 20, our pyramid should be five, which is also correct. And if it is 1,000, our pyramid should be 44. Yes. And if it is two, our pyramid should be one. All right. So if you have any question, please reach out on in the comment section or get me anyhow you could. All right. See you in the next class. We'll be looking at solutions to uh, lab 7 and 8. Catch ya.